This is the Golabs R300. It's got 299 watt hours of power. Right now, it's roughly 99% charged. It's powering my 12-volt fridge in eco mode, pulling 30 watts, 29 watts. And of course, if it did that for constantly, it could power it for about 10 hours. That's just satisfied, so obviously it's going off. It's got 300 watt max inverter, pure sine wave inverter. You can get about 280 on it before it actually shuts off. But the USB, the DC side works. This will run my fridge pretty much 24 hours as a fridge, and as a freezer closer to like 12 hours to 16 hours, depending on what temperature it's set to. Basically, I have to charge it once a day to keep the fridge running. Let's test the USB ports here. I have my phone plugged into it. Turn the USB on. And it's now charging my phone. Pulling it out of that port and plug it into this one. Both of those ports work. And I can take my USB-C cord, plug it in here to the 30 watt PD. I'll plug that into my phone, see if that works. Yep. Plug it into the 60 watt. And my phone says it's charging. And there it goes. All of them charge. My phone will max out around 8 watts, but as it goes, I usually use my Ucatel P2001. It's a 2,000 watt hour battery pack. It's great for a lot of things. It has some issues, but I got it on Kickstarter for $1,000, so at that price there's not much better on the market for that. But now it's about $1,500 regular price. The fastest way to charge this is either through solar or through something to mimic solar, or through this PD 60 watt port. You'll get up to 57 watts in through that. It takes 60 watts from my other thing. I can get up to 66 watts or 67 watts if I use my 48 volt 10 amp AC to DC charger that I bought on Amazon for about $50. It worked great. I also can use that to charge my Ucatel here, about 530 watts off of that. But this thing here, I'm only using it to power this fridge, and so far it's haven't had any issues. It hasn't shut off on the DC port yet. Even if I run it in a fridge mode, it stays running 24 hours a day. Some people have mentioned they had issues with that, but I haven't had any. The inverter works. I've used it a couple of times. I tried running something that pulled over close to 300 watts and it just went off on code. But anything below 200 you can run, If you need a CPAP machine, you can run it off this, but it probably only run it for about 2 or 3 hours max. If you have a DC side, it would run it a lot longer because the DC is connected straight to the batteries. The inverter on this isn't very efficient. I want to say it's around 75 to 85%. Just turning it on, you see how this saying this will run forever right now because nothing is being used. So you turn the inverter on, just the inverter itself will drain your battery with nothing plugged into it. We'll see where it stops at. Obviously, if you just turn the inverter on, you'll get around 30 hours before the battery drains. It's like about 33 hours, which means I'm guessing about 3 watts just to run the inverter. So it's definitely not very efficient on that side. If you need it for something small, it's good, as long as you don't need it for a long time. And of course, it's got this flashlight on the back, which is very bright. It's got multiple settings. And this thing right here, you see the DC input is 15 volts at 3.2 amps. So it maxes out around 45 watts that way. So the fastest way to charge it is through the 60 watt port if you have something you can do that with, or get one of those AC to DC chargers and you can charge it that way about 66 watts. Get almost 10 watts extra from that. But it's still going to take at least 5 hours to charge from dead to full. But it's mostly a good unit. Nothing bad to say about it. I did get a free gift with it. In the box it came with a letter saying free gift, and they gave me this bag for free, which holds the cords, and you can store the unit in here. And of course it came with a solar charger cable. It came with AC charging cable, and it came with a car charger cable. I cut that so I can use the other end on that and charge it off of that. But with this, it will charge around 37 watts. This will give you about 45, 47 watts. I've never tested this. I have heard some people say that when they use this, it doesn't work. It's probably because these two wires are crossed. So it's probably, they probably switched the positive and negative ends on it. I haven't tested it, so I don't know if that one works or not. But it's a good little unit. I bought it on sale around November for $200. And for that price, it was worth getting. The only problem I have with this is it takes a long time to charge. No matter what you do, it don't have a long time charging. Which is why I bought the Ukatel, because I can charge that completely dead to full in 2 hours. Because when it charges at 1100 watts. It's also a UPS feature and everything. I'll do a video on that later. I am doing a test on how to charge it. The 2 fastest ways is with a USB-C into the PD 60 watt in and out. So you can see it slowly builds up and should end up around 57 watts coming in. And that is being charged by my Ukatel P2001 unit through USB-C, pulling 72 watts out of that. Technically, pulling exactly 60 and putting in 57. The only other way to get any more watts than that is either through solar or through an AC charger, which I have this. It goes up to 48 volts at 10 amps. Got this on Amazon. As you can see, it's at 6.2 volts right now and nothing is going in. Ramp this up. So something starts showing up. Alright, so at 10 volts, 10.5 volts, still nothing. At 10.9, start showing up 4 watts. You can ramp this up to the voltage comes off of the AC charger that comes with it. You can see you're around 42, 43 watts going in. Ramp it up a little bit. You normally get about 47 off of the one that comes with it from factory. We're now at 16 volts and we're at 45 watts. So 18 volts will get you 50 watts. 20 volts, and you're right about where you were with the USB-C. And you can go up to about 23 and a half. We're at 23.6 volts, 66 watts. If I go up any higher, it goes off on E08, which is over voltage. So drop the voltage back down, and I can work it back up to about right around 23. And this would be the fastest way to charge it. My fridge just turned on, so you can see it's saying 36 watts now. If I unplug that, you can see my fridge in eco mode. Our freezer in eco mode is pulling about 35 watts. I plug this in. Oop, that's too much. And now it's charging about 34 and using 34 about the same time.